a look at beautiful Hanover Raceway in the small town of Hanover, Ontario, bordering Grey Bruce counties. Wonderful part of the province. Town with a population at just shy of 10,000, and it seems like almost half of that could be here tonight for Dream of Glory Night 2022. Large crowd on hand, beautiful night for racing, just under the 30-degree mark. Sunny skies and a lightning fast oval for what is the biggest night of the racing season annually here at Hanover Raceway. Well, pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Hanover Raceway for Dream of Glory Night 2022. Greg Blanchard, pleased to be joined, as always, by Mark McKelvey. And Mark, one thing we want to talk about right off the top is the atmosphere here tonight. Known for the big crowds on track, this is a hotbed of harness racing, and they are out in full force tonight.
They certainly are. We got some right behind our camera. We got lots down on the apron up here on the patio area. It's probably a good sign, the fact that I'm having troubles hearing you. That tells you the kind of atmosphere and ambiance we've got going here tonight at Hanover Raceway. It's been 3 years since they were able to put on an event like this. That's the case for most of the events here in 2022, but that being said, they come out in full force here tonight for the Dream of Glory.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, a real hotbed for harness racing here. Many of the sport's biggest names, when it comes to Ontario racing anyway, come from Hanover or surrounding area.
Absolutely. You think of some of the names that have been honored here in recent years for cutting their teeth at this track and having so much success. Just last week it was Trevor Henry Day. A few weeks ago it was Bob McClure Day. Last time we were here, Doug McNair, we noted that he was the driving champion here in 2020. He was already stamped himself as one of the top drivers in the country, but he was making the trip here. And you talk about the legendary Fritz family. There's just so much lineage through this oval here in Hanover.
And speaking of Trevor Henry, set a track record earlier tonight at Mohawk with Warrawee Vital. He would likely be in the car by now and making his way up here to Hanover. Of course, we'll see him later on in the main event, that Dream of Glory Trot Final. A lot to look forward to this evening. One thing that we want to let you know about right off the top this evening is a prize giveaway, thanks to the folks here at Hanover Raceway. They've got a wonderful prize package, one of two. First of all, we're going to be giving one away this evening. So everybody who comments during the broadcast tonight, as always, you know we love to hear from you. Everybody tuning in this evening, when you leave a comment, you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win. And then we had a contest online promoting the event this week, and we will announce the winner of that later on during the show. For those who enter tonight, we will announce that winner following this evening's broadcast. Very excited. Picture perfect night for racing. The other member of our broadcast team is standing by over in our paddock location to tell us what is coming up tonight. Here's Rob Reed Jr.
Yeah, listen, Greg, I'm so excited to be here at Hanover Raceway. I've got so many fond memories of this racetrack, and the fans and the atmosphere is amazing, and they're super excited about the show on the track, and then off the track as well. After the race, there's a huge fireworks show planned, so fantastic night ahead. We've got 4 races on the program, 2 overnight races. We also have a invitational pace, the Gail Murray Invitational Pace, longtime employee here, a beloved employee here at Hanover Raceway, works in the race office, and in that pace, you know, we got to look at Champagne Phil, 54-time winner, working from the rail. Excited to see him do his work. And of course, the main event tonight, the Dream of Glory Race 10. It's going to be a fantastic night of racing. And if you're wagering, make sure you keep an eye on this Pick 4 pool, guaranteed at $2,000 here at Hanover Raceway. You can bet that on HPI Bet.
Very much, Rob. We look forward to catching up with him throughout the night. As far as the lineup here tonight goes, we've got the Dream of Glory. That's the main event, race number 10. A couple of overnights, and then a good one, the Gail Murray Invitational Pace.
That's a race that was introduced a couple of years ago. It's attracted a nice field of older pacers. It'll come up in race number 8. We'll see if maybe they push the track record. In our most recent race here on the track, we had a pacing mare come up just 2/5 short of the track record. It's ideal conditions here tonight, so we'll mention some of those numbers later on, but a good 4-pack that we'll be bringing your way.
Time for our first commercial break. We will be back with more from Hanover Raceway in just a moment.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine recently introduced its exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
Interrupting the outer flow from third, Verdi's in fourth, to the point James 3 wide fifth, inside sixth, Wings of Ballykeel, Adventure is sent wide, and Wings of Ballykeel and Mazakai 3/4, 1:28, Warrawee Promise. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. Warrawee Promise opens up by 3. Aaron Hall from second. Adventure is coming hard in third. Verdi inside fourth. They turn down the lane. Warrawee Promise by 5. Wayne Henry makes this look easy. Warrawee Promise, Dream of Glory winner. Adventure up second. Aaron Hall third. 1:58 flat.
Tonight, and we've got overnight horses coming out to the track for race number 7. I want to welcome our viewers tuning in from coast to coast across Canada and parts of the U.S. tonight. Barb McNeil watching in from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Got Rick Doyle tuning in tonight. Nancy Hubbard, as always, from Downers Grove, Illinois. Billy O'Donnell is watching. Big shout out to the Magic Man, Billy. Ray Moore, Andy Carnegie from Alberta, one of our regular viewers. Diane Crossman, St. John, New Brunswick, tuning in. Larry Rosnitsky from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Hi to Larry. Jean Larocque from Hawkesbury, Ontario, and many more. Always love to hear where you are tuning in from. And let's get a quick look at the field here on Post Parade for race number 7. Again, it's an overnight event. So that's one of the fun things we get to do, Mark, on shows like this. We get to feature our signature or stakes races, and then a look at some of the overnights, give them a chance in the spotlight as well.
Absolutely. They're the horses, the trainers, the drivers, the owners that make the industry tick, and we got a good field of 7 coming up in this 7th race. Pretty good looking board here, and I've been up here at Hanover several times this season, spent the last few weeks here on these Saturday afternoons, so a little familiar with this field. And right now, I'm looking on the board and seeing 2-1 on Micron. That is the number 3 horse for trainer driver Andre Goish. I remember this horse making its debut over the winter months at Woodbine Mohawk Park in the qualifiers, and I thought he showed a little bit of promise. Now, he maybe hasn't lived up to that initial promise that he showed. He's 1 for 10, but in a race like this where you've got horses that for the most part have either just made one trip to the winner's circle or none, Micron's one that showed me a little bit of flashes that he's got some ability. 3 back he won at Hiawatha Horse Park, and then he came here to Hanover. He just missed as he had to rally from far back. They then went to Grand River, so Andre Goish is making almost a tour of Ontario right now with Micron, but that's the case that we get with some of these horses when you're trying to slot them in to the right spots where maybe they can click. But all I have to say, Greg, is just look at that betting board here, and it just screams competitive.
Hanover Raceway, a wonderful spot to start out with young horses. It known as having one of the best track surfaces anywhere in Canada. We're going to feature young trotters, of course, in the main event. So here's a little question we have to get the conversation going tonight. Just asking people their opinion. If you had to pick one trainer to develop a young trotter, it could be someone that's competing today or someone from the past, who would it be? And I posed that to you, Mark, before we came on camera, and you had a tough time with it.
Well, I think that screams exactly of the talent we have here in this province when you don't just have one name jump out right away. You could look at tonight's Dream of Glory and a name like Luke Blais and all the success that he's had with determination. It stands out. How about Renee Dion? He's had some real talented performers, including Flanagan Memory, Chantel Mitchell, a rising star, Shannon Henry and Trevor Henry, that husband and wife tandem. So right in tonight's Dream of Glory alone, there's all kinds of options. And think about a veteran trainer who's had so much success over the years, and John Bax and the talent he's got this year with the young trotters here in Ontario. So this is a tough question, and I think it should generate plenty of chatter through our social media feeds.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, another name that comes to mind is Mark Etzel, highly respected horseman. And, you know, he finally hits that home run. He had a lot of really nice horses. He's got the home run horse, of course, in the filly, and we'll hear from Mark a little bit later. He's got Seacan tonight, another good-looking youngster, won last night at Mohawk Park. You know, J.D. Varnell chiming in here with Jimmy Takter. Trevor Henry gets a mention. Andy Carnegie is a good one. Larry Walker and the Walker family. Speaking of this part of the world, and the prowess with youngsters, especially trotters, the Walker name is right up there.
Absolutely, and then you bring up the good point right here at Hanover, that Walker name. You can't go very far without somebody mentioning it, so there's a great name mentioned in our comments.
Roger Mayotte mentioned here, Mike Gimitelli. Hello to Mike, and yeah, Roger Mayotte, another great guy. So yeah, it's an interesting question. Again, you know, and a little fun here tonight, and I guess we're blessed, and especially in this part of the world. There we see guys like Ross Batten and the Fritz family, of course, in this part of the world, synonymous with good young horses as well. Getting set to go here. Another look at the odds board, and you're right, Mark. Really good betting board here. Nice way to kick off our 4-pack.
It really is. I went 3, 7, 6, 2. Those were my top 4 selections here. Robert Reed brought up a good point a little bit earlier. This does kick off a $2,000 guaranteed pool pick 4. So you still have time to get those wagers in through HPIBet.com. I'm going with the 3 Micron. We'll see if he can come through. We've had some pretty good contests here tonight. One man to keep in mind, though, is driver Jason Ryan. He's won 4 of the first 6 races. He's the leading driver this season here at Hanover Raceway. He's already up to 20 wins on the season, and with the 4 wins tonight, he's starting to run away at the top of the driver's standings. He's got the hot hand. He leads from the outside post, but despite having the outside post, he is the slight 2-1 favorite here with number 7, Mach 4. We'll see if he can get the high 5 as we're only at race number 7.
Well, aptly named his nickname, Ricky Bobby, and he knows his way around a racetrack. And yeah, he is firing on all cylinders, not only this season, but specifically tonight with 4 winners through the first 6. Can he add to that total here in race number 7? Another familiar name in this part of the world, the Ryer name. And Rick Ryer standing by. He'll be calling the action for us tonight. We head upstairs now for the call of the upcoming 7th.
It's post time, 7th race into the stretch, and here they come. They're up and pacing. Charmbo April is going to leave out Cerrone Sealster, and down along the inside, up Joey's Credit into that first turn. Mike Saftic and Charmbo April is hustled to the front. Up Joey's Credit will get away in second. Cerrone Sealster from third. Early 4th, that's Peter Pan Can Fly, Mike Ron 5th. Duchess of Brant taking off 6th, and Mach 4, the early trailer in 7th. But Charmbo April, Mike Saftic up front and in control of the early tempo. Up Joey's Credit, right on his helmet from 2nd, then a gap of 5 lengths to Cerrone Sealster 3rd. Opening quarter in 29 4/5. Looking at it from 4th, Peter Pan Can Fly. Mike Ron starts to the outside 5th, then Duchess of Brant and Mach 4 as they pace off the turn. Charmbo April up front has it all her own way. Up Joey's Credit right there 2nd. Mike Ron beginning to advance outside 3rd. Cerrone Sealster fourth, or by the half, in a comfortable 101 and 3/5. Well rated up front is Charmbo April. Micron now takes over second. Up Joey's Credit, a perfect trip. Micron a little steppy there. Up Joey's Credit, a perfect trip third. Duchess of Brant well situated second over fourth. They race towards three-quarters. Charmbo April, but now Micron sticks a nose in front. They race by three-quarters. Charmbo April's trying to stay game. Up Joey's Credit has found room. 3 wide for Richardson. 1:32 and 1 far turn. Still Charmbo April. Up Joey's Credit is coming in between a Micron. Duchess of Brant right there fourth. Top of the stretch. Up Joey's Credit takes over. Micron, Charmbo April, and Duchess of Brant. Up Joey's Credit. Bruce Richardson home in the 7th. Micron second. Looked like Duchess of Brant up third. Charmbo April maybe held fourth. 2:02 and 2.
Another gentleman that knows his way around Hanover Raceway is Bruce Richardson. Second winner on the card for him tonight, and Up Joey's Credit. Typically from post one, you see a horse try and go right down the road, but Bruce got a chilly trip and made that critical move and the right move to angle him wide at the three-quarter pole.
He went 3 wide there, and it's a tough move to make here at Hanover Raceway and at least come off that turn without losing that ground and still keeping that advantage, but he did keep that advantage, and he's able to draw clear late to get the victory. This is a 3-year-old colt by Up the Credit, owned and trained by Jake Roberts. Bruce Richardson in the bike, second win in 9 tries this year for Up Joey's Credit. And as we mentioned, on the paper and on the betting board, it looked like a real competitive race. We saw Micron make that first up move for Andre Goish and got into that duel with Charmbo April. And to your point, Richardson was just sitting there waiting, biding his time, ready to make that move, and it ends up being the winning one as he takes tonight's 7th race. And check out this shot coming down to the line. You'll get to see exactly the kind of crowd with us here tonight at Hanover Raceway. It is a packed house.
Bruce had that just that split decision to either stay in or move out. Had he sat in, I think he would have been hopelessly blocked in the home stretch. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Work out beautifully there, and in fact, it didn't just win. He won going away. That was the best effort we've seen from this guy in a little while.
Certainly was, and for trainer Jake Roberts, he gets his 12th win of the season and batting just over 230, having a good go, the young trainer. And Bruce Richardson, you mentioned it, a former leading driver here at Hanover Raceway, and he's having a pretty good night to this point. We'll see him later in race number 10 as he will sit behind the Renee Dion trainee, Promise for Life in the Dream of Glory.
A lot of fun for these drivers performing in front of big crowds like we have here tonight. So there is a look at the crowd in the backdrop as Bruce Richardson comes back for the second time this evening with Up Joey's Credit. Mild upset winner in race 7, start of that pick 4 wager tonight. 1 down, 3 more to go. It's Dream of Glory night. We'll take another break and be back with more momentarily.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV. An industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with hpibet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
Itty bitty on the outside on the move from third. Something to talk about. Still right there with Trot inside fourth. Nowhere to go by 3/4 in 1:28 and 4. Way out wide. Cadebra's new recruit. 3 high. Bottom turn. Hemi Seelster. I'll stay here second. Inside something to talk about. Cadebra's new recruit. Widest of all. It may turn down the lane. Hemi Seelster. I'll stay here. Something to talk about. And Cadebra's new recruit, Hemi Seelster, something to talk about. Hemi Seelster gets the job done. Cadebra's new recruit, something to talk about up second. I'll stay here, 1:57 and 4.
Welcome back to Hanover Raceway, getting set for the Gail Murray Invitational Pace coming up. But first of all, a recap of the prices in race number 7. Nice double-digit winner there, Mark, to kick off that pick 4.
Yeah, you'll take that, especially if you like to play the inside starting spot on a half mile. It usually does pretty well in that post 1, returning a $2 win price of $11.40. How about that $2 exacta, just over $36? So some nice payouts there in the 7th race, and our pick 4 on the final 4 races tonight is now underway with Up Joey's Credit taking the opening leg.
And again, we want to welcome everybody tuning in tonight, viewers from all over Canada, parts of the U.S., and other parts of the world joining us online tonight. Great to have you with us as always. We have a pair of giveaways tonight for Hanover Raceway prize packages. Thanks to the folks at Hanover for putting these together for us. One of them was a contest that we had running through the week leading up to today, and we congratulate our giveaway winner. There's a look at the prize pack. Cherry Collison is the winner of that prize pack. That's from our contest earlier this week. Congratulations to Sherry. And you can send us a message on the COSA-TV Facebook page with your contact information, and we'll get that prize out to you. And as mentioned, we will have another winner drawn following the show. Everybody that leaves us a comment tonight, let us know, have your say. We put the question up earlier. Who would you have to develop a young trotter? If you could pick someone past or present, let us know. Chime in on that. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you've got a question that you'd like to pass along, anything, we would love to hear from you as always. And we are glad to have you on board tonight. Looking ahead to the Dream of Glory a little bit later. Young trotters that are improving. We're just getting to know them a little bit. And one that really stepped up with a big effort last week in the elimination goes by the name of Linus, and earlier this week our cameras caught up with his conditioner, Brian Lee.
Hi, I'm Brian Lee. I'm training Linus tonight in the Dream of Glory trot. I started out in Orangeville Raceway when I was about 15 years old. I went down to the track and started out with the Hutton boys of Markdale, Len and Ron Hutton, and after that, I worked for Bill Cass and Jim Ritchie and Keith Waples. I got Linus in March of his 2-year-old year. He was broke up at the Mennonites and came to me in March, and I've had him ever since. When I first got him, he was a bit of a handful. He was still a stud, and I think I had him a week, and we gelded him after the first week that I had him, and he's been a pretty settled down colt since then. He's been pretty good. So. I was a little bit surprised by his effort. He'd raced 10 days before at Mohawk, and it was probably his worst race of the year. And we scoped him after the race and found that he was suffering from allergies. So we treated him through the week for allergies, and I was hoping he would be better, and he probably put in his best performance so far this year. So, it would be an honor to win this race today. For both me and the owner. It was one that was on the stake schedule that Mary really wanted to go in. So it would definitely be an honor, seeing as if I grew up around the half-mile tracks, and I just love racing on the smaller tracks.
Here's what people are saying about advanced appetite.
A great look at Linus, a good-looking youngster. And yeah, it's great to get out and see these horses in their own environment at the farm. Really interesting to hear from Brian Lee there, Mark. In the race prior to his elimination last week, one of the worst efforts that the horse had turned in, but there was a reason. They found that he had the allergies, and you know, that's a sign of a good trainer, good caretaker, that they can identify that quickly and have the horse better the next week.
Yeah, exactly that. If you can get that cleared up pretty quick, you can have a good bounce back effort. That's exactly what they saw. It also is something to point out to those out there that are horse players. You see a bad line and you wonder, there had to be something wrong, and you're going to put your faith in the conditioner that they're going to be able to identify that and be able to get it cleared up and have their horse come back fit and ready for their next start. That was exactly the case in Linus, and Brian Lee, whatever he sends one on the track, you have to give them consideration. He's got real nice numbers this year. Linus looking to come through in tonight's Dream of Glory. Won't have Austin Sorey in the bike tonight. That's who did the drive in the elimination. Instead, he gets the veteran and Mike Saftic, who's no stranger to winning some big races.
And Linus was very good last week in his elimination. Looks like a factor tonight. There's a look at the field for the upcoming 8th, but right now we're going to head back over and join Rob Reed with a special guest.
All right, I'm here in the paddock with Mike Saftic, who's going to be aboard Linus in the Dream of Glory trot. First of all, Mike, seeing you around the racetrack more often recently, driving a lot of 2-year-olds, 2-year-old trotters mostly. Tell me about how that came to be.
Well, a couple of guys asked me to, school their babies, and we got them qualified. Now I'll drive them a few starts. If they're real good, they can turn them over to one of those young guys. But so far, yeah, just slowly getting back into it.
Any that we can, maybe let the people at home know about that are coming out or have been racing right now that they keep an eye on?
Well, there's a couple. That Ontario horse you mentioned earlier, he was second in his first grassroots, qualified the 3rd time good. So I like him. John Bax got that Walner colt that was second and all locked up there last week. He's got the final next week. He's a player. And there's one little trot and fill I got for John Drennan, just qualified. I kind of like her. She's a War-wee horse. So we'll see what happens. She's actually a Stonebridge horse. But anyway, yeah, 2-year-old filly.
So that's Fox Valley, Ontario, right? Is that the name of the horse?
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
That's on Tuesday at Mohawk Park,
Tuesday,
right?
Fox
Okay, so
Valley,
if everyone at home can remember that one. So in the Dream of Glory tonight, you got Linus, and Brian Lee's a trainer of that one. How did it come to be that you picked up that drive?
Brian was looking for a driver, and I was the only guy standing. So he came over. I talked to Austin Story about him. I talked to Chris Christopher, who started his career off, and here I am.
And you got 4 drives on the card tonight. How important is it to kind of get a feel for the track before the big race?
It's nice to get out there once or twice, but it's not a big thing. I got a few thousand drives under my belt, so you still got a feel for it.
And any game plan going in, or are you going to play by feel?
Yeah, you got to play it by feel. A couple inside horses look good. That trailer looks legit. My guy, big trip last week, so I think it'll be a horse race.
All right, Mike Saftic can be aboard Linus in the Dream of Glory. Thanks, Mike. Good luck.
Great stuff. Always nice to hear from Mike Saftic. Nice to see him back and driving a bunch on a night like tonight, because he has been a mainstay in Ontario for a number of years on Canada's top circuit, the native of Sudbury. Not only a top-notch driver and horseman, but all-around good guy and really well-liked and well-respected in the industry.
Absolutely. Easy to have a chat with Mike, as you can see right there. He's a very easygoing man that will let you know what he's thinking. And going into tonight's race with Linus, by the sounds of things, he's happy to get that drive. But, of course, there's that unfamiliarity. Robert Reed brings up a good point. He's had some drives on the card. We're going to see him in the Gail Murray Invitational. But you go through the years, and some of the good horses and top horses that Mike Saftic has driven, he's no stranger to having some success in some big moments. So we'll see if he can come through with Linus here tonight, and also some good tips to keep those eyes on those youngsters that he mentioned coming up very soon.
Yeah. One of the first great horses that I remember Mike being associated with in my younger days was a horse called Soft Light for Garth Gordon. Later years, Rare Earth comes to mind. Do you have a favorite or a horse that you immediately associate with Mike?
I always remember Sir Luck winning the Metro Pace. There's one that really sticks out to me. I remember that horse coming through and winning for Bill Budd in the Metro Pace when I was just a youngster, and for whatever reason, that one probably sticks out at the top whenever you mention the name Mike Saftic.
And what about Alimony?
Alimony, exactly.
That's another good one. Yeah, so when you start recollecting, you realize the kind of career that Mike had, and still very capable in the race bike, and he'll be a factor here tonight. Again, we want to welcome all of our viewers tonight. We'll say hello to Arlene McIntyre, and she had a good take here on our question we asked about who would you give a young trotter to. She threw out a name, John Bax, of course. How could you go wrong there? As far as a driver, Trot and Trevor Ritchie. And yes, I think a lot of people would certainly agree with that as well. Mike Percy says Paul Walker. We heard Larry Walker earlier. Paul Walker. Absolutely. So, some great names. And, a lot of them come from this part of the world. We are deep in horse country here, Mark, and nice look at the paddock location. There's a look at the hottest driver locally here this season, Jason Ryan. 4 wins already on the card.
He's having a really good go this season, and here at Hanover Raceway a couple of years ago, they made the adjustment to having the Saturday programs in the afternoon. What that did was actually brought in some of the sport's top drivers from Woodbine Mohawk Park. We saw Doug McNair. Last year we saw Bob McClure. So this year, it was curious who might be making that trip up on Saturday afternoons. Jonathan Drury's a name that has stuck out. I believe Jonathan came up here on the very first week. He only had 2 drives. He won both of them. Next thing you know, he was on the sheet in pretty much every race the following week, so he's had a good season. But Jason Ryan, this is a circuit where he can absolutely clean up. He has plenty of success each year, but he's having a really good go. He trains some of his own as well. They've been having a good go as well, but this season there's been no hotter hands than that of Jason Ryan here at Hanover Raceway.
So tonight, a bit of a mix, some of the young guns, if you will, and then some of the veterans who we don't see driving the same volume of horses, but they're still very, very capable and very talented. Bruce Richardson, we get a look at him there, coming off a win. Mike Saftic. What about our friend Mario Baerjan we're going to see later as well?
Yeah, Mario has taken on a different role in recent years as he's joined the Stable.ca, Anthony McDonald's initiative. He's been one of their trainers as well. He still jumps on the bike from here to here, and here he is, and coming up in this 8th race, he'll be driving Ideal Jet. I look forward to talking about Ideal Jet when we get a little closer to post time, because this is one of the more fascinating horses we've seen in recent years here in Ontario. But this was an interesting night, Greg. The fact that Hanover moves to a nighttime card for Dream of Glory. You've got Georgian Racing, you've got Kawartha Racing, Hiawatha Horse Park has Ontario Sire Stakes Grassroots, of course Woodbine Mohawk Park. There's a lot of action happening here tonight, and in recent years with some track going in the afternoon, maybe the driving number of drivers out there might have been a little dwindled down a little bit. I think we've seen that here tonight. Everybody really had to pick and choose their spots, so there's plenty of opportunities out there within the province here tonight, and we're seeing who can come through and capitalize.
Yeah, big day in racing North American wide earlier today at the Meadows. They had the Adios, an upset there, Beach Class and Pebble Beach, the 2 expected heavy favorites. They finished 2nd and 3rd respectively, as there was an upset there. We've got Hambo eliminations tonight, of course, at the Meadowlands. Great card at Mohawk Park. So, yeah, great day for harness racing. And we're going to get to hear now from the conditioner, longtime conditioner of one of the fan favorites in Ontario, the hard-hitting Champagne Phil. His trainer, Kenny Oliver, standing by with Rob.
You know, you gotta love it, eh?
All right, I'm here with Ken Oliver, just outside the paddock. We just watched Champagne Phil walk out onto the racetrack, and Ken, you know, 12 years old now and still getting his job done out there. He's got 4 wins this season, 7 last season. This is your 2nd stint with him. Tell us about the difference between a younger Champagne Phil and this version of him.
Well, you know, there's not much of a difference really between the 3-year-old Champagne Phil and now. You know, he's still got lots to go. And, you know, I say about the pandemic, you know, how it didn't help a lot of people or horses or anything, but it helped Champagne Phil. It kept him fresh, and he was able to come back real good.
And he seems to be one that strings together victories, right? So is he the type that still kind of swells up and gets confident?
Yeah, he can read the program. You know, he knows when he has a good shot. You know, he's got an inside post tonight, but it's not a gimme tonight neither. You know, the 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 are all levers in there, and it's going to be a tough race. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out.
Now you've got the rail, and he's in good form right now, though. So is it safe to say Bruce is going to go forward off the gate?
Well, I'm not on the seat, and I don't give any instructions, but he can read the program, and as long as we don't have to leave 3 races on the track, we'd like to see him head in that direction. And, you know, a guy like Bruce, he knows every inch of Hanover Raceway.
All right, there you have it, folks. Ken Oliver, trainer of Champagne Phil, going to go postward shortly in the Gail Murray Invitational.
Thank you, Rob, and Kenny Oliver for taking a couple of moments to join us and talk about his veteran Champagne Phil. These are the types of horses that you can't help but admire. He's 12 years old, still going strong, racing in events like this. Just dollars shy of $700,000 lifetime, and so many great moments over the course of his career. 54 lifetime victories for Champagne Phil, and you know what? From post 1, wouldn't be shocked if tonight could be 55, and the public thinks so at 3-2. I want to go back to the Adios. The horse's name, I should have said, the horse that won, in case people missed it, was By a Missile, trained by Ron Burke. He was a mild 8-1 upsetter and got it done. Congratulations to the Connections, winning on home turf today in the Adios. Speaking of missiles and high-speed aircraft, a horse by the name of Ideal Jet is in this field, and he's been known over the course of his career, Mark, for his early speed. A stone-cold front runner, if you will.
If we had sprints in harness racing, I think Ideal Jet could have been the champion. I mean, here's a horse that we saw racing in the top classes when it came to the overnights at Woodbine Mohawk Park for several years, and now here at age 11 for Craig Bars, it's few frequent trips now to the big track and more spending time on the half-mile ovals, but he can still just absolutely fly out there. But what I always really enjoyed, Greg, and maybe this is my hockey background, the fact that I always like at the start of a hockey game, you like to set the tone, you like to go out there and throw a big hit, you get the crowd into it. I always enjoy, especially on those Saturday nights at Mohawk, race one, you'd have a horse just go down the road, put up big fractions, really set the tone for the night that we might see some big speed. Ideal Jet, he was great for that. I remember Rick Zeron would get in the bike with him and just absolutely roll. It was just a few years ago. He got down to 3/4 and 20 flat. Now he might walk home in 30 seconds, but a lot of those nights, he'd still get the job done. He's just a fascinating horse to me for just his high speed he had for a clip, and he would throw up some huge fractions at times. He lands post 7 here. I'm not sure Mario Bayarjan is absolutely going to unleash him. That being said, if you're Mario, who I'm not sure, and I've been going back, I don't think he's ever sat behind Ideal Jet, although I learned earlier this week from Craig Bars that Mario actually drove the dam of Ideal Jet many years ago. You just look at his record, you have to think, I guess I'm going forward. It's nothing but ones up front as the races kick off for this 11-year-old, and it's going to be really fun to see what he does in this group.
Ideal Jet, a bit of a throwback, if you will. You don't see as many these days that are sort of that one-dimensional because, frankly, nowadays so many horses can leave fast. But to see a horse consistently do it and be able to get off on the right foot 99% of the time. You look at his lines, we've got 8 charted lines on his program. He's been first at the quarter in 7 of the 8. The other time he landed second early on from the 7-hole. And there he is. So we know what we're going to expect. Maybe that's another interesting question for our viewers tonight. Thinking back, as longtime race fans, was there a horse that you remember that was that one-dimensional front-running type? I remember one, Mark. I spent a winter in Florida in 1991, and the top sort of local open horse at the time was one called A.J. Storm Honor that Kevin Wallace drove. And he would go to the lead against the best horses on the grounds, and he'd have 10 or 12 lengths at the half, and he'd pace unbelievable fractions for the time. And again, some weeks he would last to the wire, other weeks they would collar him. And but boy, was it fun to watch, just to see if he was going to be able to take it the distance.
Exactly, and while Ideal Jet in recent years will be one of those horses that I'll always remember. I was looking back here just a moment ago on track at June 2020. He got to 3/4 and 120 flat after the half and 52 and 4. He won the race in 49 and 4, 29 and 4 last quarter, but he got it done. If you're asking me, though, the one that will always stick out, this one happened down at the Meadowlands, I want to say 2005, 2006, and if you're like me of the YouTube era, you've watched this race many times, Devonshire Hanover, who just took off with the Minister of Speed, George Brennan, in the bike, got down to the half, I believe, in 51, 3/4. Oh, at the time, we never saw a horse to get to 3/4 in 19. He came home 30 flat, and if I remember the call from Ken Workington, 2 points in that race stood out. One was when he said he's a runaway. The other was when they came into the lane, and Ken said, they turn for home, or at least Devonshire Hanover turns for home. That's how far ahead he was. That's one I always remember, and he kind of went on that run for a little bit of putting up those torturous fractions. In fact, I believe in one of those following starts, he actually got invited to Kawartha Downs for an open. Zuka ended up winning it, but there's one that, as a young fan, I had to track this horse. I was just so fascinated by his incredible speed.
We talked about Rare Earth earlier when speaking about Mike Saftic. He was another known front runner on the then OJC circuit. Donna's Emerson was a great half-mile front-running type at Flamborough, where he dominated the preferred there for a number of years. as well. And earlier tonight we didn't see it, but we hear Warrawee Vital did something similar in his track record performance.
He did at Woodbine Mohawk Park, posting a mile of 1:47.1. That ties the Canadian record for an older pacing stallion. That record previously established by Always Be Mickey a few years back in the Mohawk Gold Cup. But Warrawee Vital last week wins in 1:47.2. Tonight, early on the card, and I always think on a Saturday night, a hot summer night, especially early at Woodbine Mohawk Park, that's when you see your fastest miles, and he put up some huge fractions, down to the half in 52 and a piece, 3/4 19.1, and he wins in 1:47.1. Warrawee Vital is absolutely red hot right now with those open scores in recent weeks, and it's going to be really fun to see what he can do when he locks horns with the top heavyweights in our sport. But Greg, we have to be pretty impressed by the talent we've seen here in Ontario. Bulldog Hanover, what he's done now. Warrawee Vital putting up these big miles. We've got some heavy hitters right here in our backyard.
Absolutely, and Ontario breeding and Ontario breeders really doing the province proud. Some of the best horses in harness racing. We had a look at Ideal Jet moments ago. There's the classy Champagne Phil as well. Body language, totally different. Champagne Phil just always looks so relaxed and, just looks like a stroll in the park for him. Ideal Jet, always on his toes, always has a bow in his neck and looks ready to spring into action. And boy, they are two heavy hitters. Combined, almost $1.3 million earned the hard way. And, they're getting up there in years, but still so competitive.
Exactly that, and this is what they love to do. They love to race. There's a reason they put up big start numbers every single year, and maybe they're not exactly where they were at one time, but they can still compete and they can still put up some big performances. I'm just taking a look at the betting board once again, a nice board. They're going to go to the gate in just a moment. I'm backing number 2. I'll get my own thanks here for local trainer Dale Fritz. This one's been racing at Woodbine Mohawk Park over the last little while. He's had some mixed results, but he has been to the winner's circle. He's got big speed as well, and I think they'd love to win this race with the Fritzes in this spot with I'll get my own thanks, who is currently 5-2.
I'm going to try and trip handicap here. I'm going to call it a 7-1 lineup. Champagne Phil pops out in the stretch to win.
All right.
Let's see. To describe the action, the voice of Hanover Raceway, Rick Ryer, standing by. With the call of race 8, it is the Gail Murray Invitational Pace.
Outside 7, Ideal Jet, Mario Bayerjean. Trailer 8, Mortgage My Villa, Jason Ryan. The purse, $10,000. It's the Gail Murray Invitational. And it's post time. Race 8. A little trouble with the 6. Maintenance man fields into the stretch, and here they come. Rest her off and pacing, Champagne Phil. I'll get my own thanks. Ideal Jet, 3 wide. Mario's leaving hard into that first turn. Inside Champagne Phil. Inquiry sign will go up. And Champagne Phil, Bruce Richardson wants the lead, and he's got it. I'll get my own thanks, fills the pocket. Moving up third, Lions Johnny Jr. Ideal Jet is going to try to find a seat. No room at the end. He's on the outside from 4th. Easton Beach 5th. Mortgage My Villas from 6th. And 7th, Life is Better, opening quarter in 28 and 1/5. Bruce Richardson, he's up front and in control. He used that rail to Champagne Phil's advantage. He leads him off the turn towards the half. Long mile tonight for Ideal Jet. I'll get my own thanks. Couldn't ask for a better trip in the pocket. Lions Johnny Jr. now second over 4th. Inside Mortgage My Villa, saving ground. Half well rated, 58-1. Bruce Richardson stole that 32nd second quarter. Champagne Phil, 12-year-old veteran, leads him down the back stretch towards 3/4. Ideal Jet on the outside. I'll get my own thanks right there 3rd. Lions Johnny Jr. 3 wide 4th. Mortgage My Villa 5th. Easton Beach, Life is Better 1:26 and 4. Champagne Phil, I'll get my own thanks. Off the pylons, out of the pocket on the bottom turn. It's Champagne Phil. I'll get my own thanks. Lions Johnny Jr. and they turn down the lane. I'll get my own thanks. Champagne Phil. I'll get my own thanks. Travis Henry gets her done. Champagne Phil second. Lions Johnny Jr. third. Mortgage My Villa fourth. 1:55.3.
Fantastic stretch drive finish. I'll get my own thanks with the pocket trip. It wasn't him that I thought would get the pocket trip, Mark. You liked the horse coming in, and you knew at 3/4 he was going to be very dangerous. But give the veteran Champagne Phil a ton of credit. You know, he needed every ounce of pace to go by the veteran at the wire.
He certainly did. It was a gritty effort from Champagne Phil. This race didn't exactly shake out the way I thought it might. I really thought Mario Baerjan was just going to keep the foot on the gas there with Ideal Jet. It was going to be tough to get there from post position 7, but pretty early on when they hit the backside, he got away and aborted that plan of heading to the front and was trying to take back to drop into the 3-hole. That hole got shut on him at that point. Now it's the long journey. He's going to have to sit on the outside the rest of the route, and he does push going to 3/4, but as soon as I could tell he was probably all done at about 3/4, Travis Henry knew he was going to have that room to pop out. I didn't think it was going to need the full length of the stretch to get by, but Champagne Phil made him fight for it. I got my own thanks, does get him, picks him off just enough to take the victory in the Gail Murray Invitational. Final time 1:55.3.
Gelded Son of Shadow Play converts for the 1:55.3 clocking tonight. The crowd, the atmosphere here is electric. It was really deafening in the stretch drive, and it is a lot of fun. We can only imagine what's in store as we come up to our main event, which is the Dream of Glory Trot. But we've got another overnight before that. We'll take a quick break, come back, recap the prices, and look ahead to that Dream of Glory next.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com. and see what everyone is talking about.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
3/4 is Puka, 7th PC Foreign Affair. Wild Man looks good, stretches out by 2, 129 flat. PC Cantor is going with them from 2nd, very classy 3rd. Gonna Fly is 4th to the top of the stretch. Wild Man, are you on your feet, folks? Wild Man, PC Cantor to the outside. Wild Man, 15th edition Dream of Glory. Rob Shepard, Wild Man. PC Cantor, 2nd, very classy 3rd, 1:58.2.
And welcome back. A thrilling edition of the Gail Murray Invitational pace in the books. There's winning driver Travis Henry. Trips don't come any better than that. I'll get my own thanks. Benefactor of the 2-hole ride all the way and gets up for the thrilling 155-3 win.
Just gets up and edges Champagne Phil for the victory. This was the Gail Murray Invitational pace. Third year they've had this race. Gail was just on the right side of your screen out there for the winner's circle presentation. She's been contributing here for over 30 years at Hanover Raceway. She's the assistant race secretary, and she is one of those people that when you talk to her, you always love to visit with her when you're at Hanover Raceway. So nice that they're able to continue having this race to honor her contributions to what they put on here, and what they're putting on tonight is a great show.
Only fitting that on Dream of Glory night here at Hanover Raceway that the Fritz family would win a race. Dale Fritz co-owns, trains this son of Shadow Play, who gets it done in the Gail Murray Invitational. Again, we salute Gail for her many years of dedicated service here. There's a look at our parade marshal for tonight, Emma Christoforou, and I believe that is the Painted Pony, is it not, Mark? One of the famous parade marshals that we see from track to track across Ontario, especially in the summertime.
Absolutely, and not only is the Painted Pony visiting with the fans along the rail, or as it's dubbed here at Hanover Raceway, Lawn Chair Lane, the Painted Pony was actually out front of the grandstand earlier tonight. Fans were able to drop by and get some photos with probably the most famous outriding horse, I guess you could put it, here in the province, doing a great job, part of those festivities here tonight.
I'll get my own thanks. A 2-to-1 winner pays $6.30, teaming up with number 1 Champagne Phil. Exacta returning $13.30. So some popular payouts here in race number 8. Just the mildest of upsets, if you even want to call it that, for I'll get my own thanks. And rounding out the top 3, Lions, Johnny Jr. So it's a 2-1-3 top 3 finish order in race number 8, the Gail Murray Invitational. We've got the 9th race coming up next. It's a trot event, just a field of 5. It's tonight's edition of the Tender Pizza Mile. Now, Mark, for those who don't know what that is, maybe we can let them know. Tender Pizza is located just around the corner here. Fabulous place for pizza. They've been sponsoring the last race here traditionally each and every night, and I believe the winning driver, winning trainer of the last race gets a free pizza, don't they, on the way home?
The winning trainer, and they've done this forever here at Hanover Raceway. But one cool thing that happened here last week when it was Trevor Henry Day, Desperate Man was also here, and the Chakeen family, when they were invited, mentioned to the management here at Hanover Raceway how much they always loved the Tender Pizza Mile race, and they always looked forward to winning the last race of the night. They were hoping they were in the last race. You get some pizza for the ride home. So last week, they stepped up and they donated a winning pizza for each winning trainer on the card for every race last week. So that was a nice little touch. Usually it's in the finale, but with the Dream of Glory in the last race tonight, we'll see it here in race number 9. So not just some cash on the line, also some za.
If you come to Hanover, make sure you stop by Tender Pizza. Highly, highly recommend it. I've got about a 2-hour drive home tonight afterwards, and I certainly will be stopping by there afterwards. Yeah, it's one of those traditions here in Hanover, and the Tender Pizza Miles coming up one race earlier than normal tonight, race number 9, as of course we have the main event, the Dream of Glory, coming up a little bit later. There's the famous water tower here in the town of Hanover, so no doubt where we are located here this evening. One gentleman that is familiar with this part of the world too, Mark Etzel. I've seen him race here a number of times over the years, veteran horseman. He hit the home run last year with trotting filly Adair Castle, an O'Brien Award winner. She's come back fantastic. He's got another nice youngster named Seacan that he sends forward tonight in that Dream of Glory final. Earlier this week, we took our camera crews out for a closer look at that young trotter.
Hi, my name is Mark Etzel. I'm training Seacan for today's Dream of Glory trot. I started racing, I was working for Co-op at the time, managing some gas bars, and I bought a horse on a whim, and the rest is history. Having Adair Castle is very special. I mean, it's what everybody strives for when they're getting into this business. You always dream when you go to the yearling sale that you're going to end up with one like that. Most times you don't. Has she been life-changing? No, because I'm near the end of my career, not the beginning. So We've had some other nice horses, but she's by far the best one. She's just a treat to have around, and it just makes the ownership group very happy, and they appreciate everything they got. Oh, it's been great. It's been one for the small guy, basically. Everybody I talk to is very happy for us. It's just been uplifting, and we're just excited about it. And again, it's one for the small guy, because you know, it's usually the larger stables and the larger owners that get these kind of horses, and we were just fortunate that she fell in our lap. Seacan was a decent 2-year-old. He started off. The only thing, he was a little timid behind the gate, and you know, he had gate speed, but you never knew if you could use it or not. But he's matured this year, and he's much better behaved, and he grew up. We kind of expected him to be a 54 trotter, and that's kind of what he is. So he's on line to be what we thought. Seacan's got, like I said, he has gate speed, and he can race from any position. I think, you know, he's not going to make front. There's too many other high-speed horses in there that are going to rally. And if he gets away, you know, third, fourth, fifth, somewhere in there, he'll be able to handle first up, as long as the fractions aren't too wicked.
Nice to hear from Mark Etzel, and what a powerhouse barn he's operating right now. He's always had a wonderful career. He's always come up with those nice horses, some good stakes horses here in the province, but a Dare Castle next level. But he remains very humble, and he's a guy that I think a lot of people are genuinely happy to see do well.
Exactly, especially in these parts. A lot of folks last year here were cheering her on, and then you come back this year, and the first thing when I came up here at the start of the season, you start hearing from people is, well, how about a Dare Castle? So a lot of people will be rooting on Mark Etzel here tonight with Seacan. And how about the fact, Greg, that he can pull the Hanover signature event double? He won the Balanced Image last year as a 2-year-old. Now he could win the Dream of Glory. So that'd be quite the accomplishment right here at Hanover Raceway.
Yeah, and this race, the Balanced Image as well, has really been a stepping stone for some trotters who've gone on to marvelous careers in other parts of North America. So we're going to see some of the very best in the province, and Mark Etzel, one of the best horsemen, certainly. And a big feather in the cap of Hanover Raceway here. It's a signature event. The 2 trotting events are really the 2 marquee events of the racing season, and a lot of history here at Hanover Raceway, operated by an agricultural society that's almost 160 years old. The track itself has been around close to 60 years, so a lot of history, and as we said, a lot of the great horse racing families have come from this part of the world.
Yeah, they have, and again, there's some good fans right here at Hanover Raceway. I should say great fans. You hear the crowd here tonight, but there are diehards, and they're the type of fans here that I'll see down at Mohawk on a Thursday or a Friday night, because well, they only race at Hanover on Saturday, so they make the trip. They get in their cars, they carpool down, and then they'll say, well, we'll see you at Hanover on Saturday. So it's a hotbed, like you said, and it's easy to root for people that come from this area. I may be a little biased, but I think up here you just get some people that are real salt of the earth and some great horsemen as well.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, a lot of our smaller Ontario tracks are the same way. We've got, of course, the big time down the road at Mohawk Park. We've got our signature tracks. We're going to be at beautiful Grand River Raceway on this Monday afternoon as well for Industry Day and the Battle of Waterloo. So we're pretty blessed here in the province, right? We've got a mixed bag of everything, but the grassroots are here at these tracks, and the biggest crowds for these nights are typically here because it feels like the entire community's here tonight.
Exactly that, and I was talking to some people in the community, and they said, how come they're not racing at nighttime anymore? And then they found out, oh, Dream of Glory is still at night. Well, they weren't going to miss that. That is one night they do not miss around these parts, and I'll be curious to see where they go forward here at Hanover Raceway, whether they stick to afternoons going forward, whether they maybe revert back to the evening programs. I love seeing the racing under the lights here at Hanover. It's just a spectacular facility. If you've never been here, well, you should certainly consider making the trip up, maybe before this season ends. If not, definitely next year. This is a great spot here. It's Hanover Raceway, and there are some fast facts that you already heard from Greg as well, but this is a track that's coming up on 60 years of operation. And of course, just like any of these tracks in onto these small parts of Ontario, 2 Saturdays from now, there won't be racing. The fair's in town. You can't have racing and the fair takes up too much room, I guess. But it's one of those spots you just love coming to.
Absolutely, and one of many tracks in Ontario as well, operated by the Agricultural Society. So it's such a big part of the fabric of the community. And ag societies typically have a summer fair. So racing will take a back seat for one weekend, but it is definitely a centerpiece of this community. All right, in just a moment from now, we're going to head back to the paddock, but getting a look at the field making their way to the track for race number 9. Again, it is the Tender Pizza Mile. It's a trotting event, the field of 5. And again, we're going to head over now to our paddock location once again. Rob Reed Jr. with another special guest.
Yeah, very special guest this time, folks. Fresh off a victory at Mohawk Park. Drove up here afterwards. Warwick Vital tonight, 147-1. Thoughts on that one?
He raced great. It was. I thought maybe we had a shot tonight when I saw the 3 quarters, 119. But there is a wind in the stretch, but it was a great mile tonight.
Fastest 3 quarters ever at Mohawk Park, I think, and it equaled the H Stallion record as well, 47-1. So incredible stuff. And I heard that you picked up a hitchhiker on the way here.
Yeah, I found a straggler there. Scott Young was looking for a ride, so I thought I'd give him a ride and help him out.
Awesome, that's great. And of course, last week here was Trevor Henry Day. I just got to ask you about your, that day and how important it was to see all the fans come out and just, raise money for a great cause as well.
Yeah, it was great to raise money for the cause, and got to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in years, and it was just a great day. It was a beautiful day.
All right, and the Dream of Glory tonight, you've got Evil Guy, and this one's trained by your wife, Shannon Henry. What's it like to work for the boss?
Well, it can be tough at times. We have the odd argument, but it all works out.
And you've got the trailing post, right? And you're no stranger to the winner's circle here at Hanover, but what does that do in a race like this for a young trotter, that starting spot?
It's a tough spot with a young horse, but he's got a lot of racing under him, and he's a good gaited horse, which should help him. It just need, a little racing luck out of the 8-hole. It's, hopefully they race up front and we can get some money late.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Good luck tonight, and congrats again on the win on Vital.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, guys. Good to see Trevor made it safe and sound after his track record performance earlier tonight. He talked about how much fun it was for Trevor Henry Day here a week ago, and to get to be with Desperate Man, again, the horse that guided him, or he guided, I should say, to a Pepsi North America Cup title a year ago. And interesting to hear him talk about the husband-wife dynamic, the team effort, and joking around a bit, but I'm sure if you asked Trevor and impressed him, he'd be quick to tell you what an important role wife Shannon plays in that operation and all the success he's had.
Of course, and I guess the saying always was, behind every great man, or in front of every great man, there's a great woman. So you know what, though? One thing that stood out to me was last week here for Trevor Henry Day, and talking to the management here at Hanover Raceway, was the effort that Shannon put in to bringing in so many auction items and raising funds. They were raising funds for Canadian Tire's Jumpstart Foundation. If you're not familiar, that foundation raises money to be able to let children here in the country have an opportunity to play organized sports. So it's a great cause, and last week they raised, I believe at last count, over $12,000, and a lot of that was really spearheaded by the efforts of Shannon. I know she's been a part of some other initiatives in the past, including the Holiday Drivers Challenge at Western Fair a few years back.
Yeah.
So it just shows how much they care, not just for this industry, but for their communities, and how much they wanted to give back. I think that's really awesome to see.
Yeah, I was going to mention that event specifically. It was an event started just a couple of years ago in London, and she just took it upon herself, and that's just her nature, to organize all of the horse people down in her part of the province and collect toys to donate for the Toys for Tots campaign that year in conjunction with the Drivers Challenge. And they landed there that night with a large horse trailer absolutely full to the rafters of toys for young kids in London. So, yeah, just, wonderful people and hard workers and very generous. And it's no not shocking to see the level of success that they have had on the racetrack, but they are the first ones to give back in times of need as well. And you could say that for really the majority of this industry, and that's a big part of why we all love it so much. I think we were under maybe just a short delay here, it looks like, with the start of race number 9. Again, we're on the trot, field of 5. These are younger trotters who are, just still trying to find their way, some of them, so it makes for a wide open affair. Quick look at the odds, even money on Ranger Rob. Quick thought, Mark, as they line up, is this horse worth even money?
I think so, and he does have that missing chart line. If you're following on our program, he had a good effort at Grand River this past midweek. I'm not surprised to see him taking that money. I went with the one myself and wheeling and rocking, sticking with that Henry family. Wayne Henry, the trainer, driver. We'll see if this one, going back to the half-mile oval, will get his touch to finally get to the winner's circle.
Gate rolling for tonight's 9th, the Tender Pizza Mile. Once again, here's Rick Ryer.
It's the Tender Pizza Trot, and it is post time, race 9. Ninth race into the stretch, and here they come. They're up and trotting. Ranger Rob, Opus Faith are leaving out together. Wheeling and Rocket right there along the inside to the top 3. Her Grace K 4th, and Dee Dee Seelster early trailer inside 5. Ranger Rob, Travis Henry was rolled to the front. He'll lead him towards the opening quarter. Opus Faith filly trots from 2nd. Wheeling and Rockin' looks at it 3rd. Moving up 4th, that was Dee Dee Seelster as Her Grace K took a seat in 5th, opening quarter 30-4, and not content with the tempo, Wayne Henry has wheeling and rocking to the outside, but now Ranger Rob and Travis will drive on. Wheeling and rocking out there 2nd, Opus Faith in the pocket 3rd. Trotting 4th, Dee Dee Seelster, and 5th is Her Grace K as they trot by the half. Travis Henry, Ranger Rob up front. Opus Faith continues in 2nd. They're by the half mile in 1:01. Wheeling and Rockin' took back in the seat down 3rd. Her Grace K underway 4th. Dee Dee Seelster continues 5th, turning down the backstretch towards 3/4. Ranger Rob up front and in control of the tempo. Opus Faith 2nd. A gap of 2 lengths 3rd, Wheeling and Rocket. Then Her Grace K and Dee Dee Seelster, but they're by 3/4, 1:30-4, solid 29-4. 3rd quarter, Ranger Rob looks good by 2 lengths in the far turn. Opus Faith continues 2nd, then a gap. Wheeling and Rockin' 3rd. Her Grace K, Dee Dee Seelster, top of the stretch. It is Ranger Rob, Opus Faith 2nd, battling for 3rd. Travis Henry and Ranger Rob are going to cruise in the 9th. Opus Faith 2nd, Wheeling and Rockin' 3rd. Her Grace K 4th, Dee Dee Seelster 2-0-1-1.
It's back-to-back Travis Henry on this Saturday night program, guiding Ranger Rob to his first win of the season in start number 3 and his 3rd career tally. They don't come a whole lot easier than that, Mark. Once he made the lead and got to control the fractions, the end result never really in doubt.
No, it wasn't in doubt. He goes on to a 2-0-1-1 victory. First win of the year. This was just a 3rd start this year for the 4-year-old Ranger Rob. He was a 4-year-old in against 4 other rivals who were all 3-year-olds. Maybe he's got a little bit of a leg up there. He did have 13 starts last year and 2 trips to the winner's circle. So while for a lot of these horses, winning hasn't really found them yet, here's one that at least had enough of that experience and really landed in a pretty good spot here to get that slam dunk victory and trots away to win the Tender Pizza Mile, and that'll make the Holiday family happy because they're going home with a 15-inch round pizza. And Travis Henry's got the hot hand right now. We talked about Jason Ryan starting off the night strong, winning 4 of the first 6 races. Travis Henry's got back-to-back wins here, and he's going to be sitting behind Drinks at Home, who I think you could make a case will be the favorite when they go to post in the upcoming Dream of Glory final. So I'm always a big believer in confidence and momentum, and right now it's on the side of Travis Henry.
And another local trainer clicking here in Dave Holliday from nearby Mount Forest. Very good horseman, develops a lot of nice young trotters especially, and he's got one here that's continuing his improvement. Ranger Rob, just 4 years old, fairly lightly raced coming into this, but now with his third overall trip to the winner's circle, his first this season, and gives you the impression, with not a whole lot of money on his card, that he could continue that progression and rack up a few more wins here in the short term.
Exactly that, and that's what you look for as a horse that maybe is just going to continue to progress, and some of them find out a little bit later. We talked about the fact that the other 4 horses in the race were all 3-year-olds. Well, it might just take a little longer for them. That's always the case, and maturity doesn't come at the same rate for everyone, and in this case for Ranger Rob, now at age 4, he's got to win this season, 3 in his career, and will look to continue building on that as the weeks of this 2022 campaign progress.
While we await the prices, we will take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll set the stage for this year's edition of the Dream of Glory.
Come. Post time. Deep stretch now. Shut the camera up.
There's another big event coming up in just a few weeks, Mark, the Gold Cup and Saucer. New look Gold Cup and Saucer, one of the greatest shows in harness racing, now going for a cool $100,000. And that, I think, is going to draw some attention.
I think it certainly will. I know as soon as that was announced, that got some buzz within the local racing community here. We always see plenty of strong representation from those folks here in Ontario that like to take a shot to head out to the Maritimes to try and take that Gold Cup and Saucer. Obviously, for a lot of them, they've got roots that started out there, and then maybe they were transplanted to Ontario. But for others, myself included, someone who has grown up here in Ontario, Gold Cup and Saucer. It's on the bucket list. It's something I've got to get to soon. I can't believe I'm still sitting here saying I haven't. I will blame COVID for the last few years why I didn't get there, but it's going to happen very soon. It's a can't miss event for any harness racing fan.
No question. I might be a bit biased, but I've seen many of them growing up in Prince Edward Island. Producer Curtis is the same. But we're not exaggerating. There really is nothing like it. It is something that any harness racing fan should try and get to at least once. And there's so much other fun activities to do during Old Home Week as well. And of course, racing is really the central theme of it all. So excited this year for the Gold Cup and Saucer with the record purse this season. Talked to Lee Drake down there the other day. Very excited for what the trials have in store this year. And we'll hear more about that in the coming days as horses get revealed and who will be making the trip down there this year. But now time to look at our main event here tonight, the Dream of Glory Trot Final. Great looking field assembled once again this year. We're going to take a look back to last week, though, in the eliminations and show you how things unfolded.
Quarters, Renegade Gypsy, 131 and 1 far turn. Renegade Gypsy, Archery Silster still digging in second. Right there locked in, C-Can from third. The champ fourth. On a stand-up guy, top of the stretch. It's been all Renegade Gypsy. Here comes C-Can for the stretch drive. And C-Can, Bob McClure floats on by. Renegade Gypsy second. That's cozy for show between Archery Silster and the champ. Linus on the outside. Right there, fire inside my veins. Bob McClure in the pocket again. Third, 3/4 reached in 1:28 and 3. Far turn 3, finger pour. Linus on the outside. Fire inside my veins. Grace is looking for room and they turn down the lane. It's Linus on the outside. 3 finger pour. Widest of all. Promise for life. Linus! Austin Sorey gets the job done. Promise for life second. 3 finger pour. Third, 1:59 and 1. Fourth by 3/4. 1:28 and 1. Sticking a nose in front, drinks it home. Bob McClure, Armstead Cole battling back second. Evil Guy is up into the hunt third. Hang on, baby, fourth. Over to the top of the stretch. It's drinks it home. Armstead Cole looking for room. Evil Guy drinks it home. Evil Guy is coming on the outside. Drinks at home. Bob McClure gets her done. Evil Guy second with a spot. Armstead Cole hung on third. Hang on, baby, fourth. 1:58 and 1.
That was a look back to last week's eliminations. The fastest of the 3 elim winners drinks at home, 1:58 and 1, and substantially faster. We'll see if the track and stakes record could be threatened tonight, and I think we've got the weather certainly to do it. Stakes record belongs to Joey Batts, 2018, 57 and 2. The overall track trotting record, Hemi Seelster in 2015, 1:56 and 4. And on the driver's side, Steve Byron has been a guy that's dominated in this event. We won't see Steve competing this year, but he's a 4-time winner. But guys like Bruce Richardson trying to add to their total. Some of the Dream of Glory statistical information that you need to know as we get ready for tonight's final. Right now, though, we're going to head back over trackside. Rob Reed standing by with another special guest.
I'm here in the paddock with the always dashing Scott Young, who actually just got here as well because you had a couple of drives at Mohawk Park tonight. How'd it go at the big track tonight?
Not bad at all. I was second in the first, and then I was fourth in the open with the Greek Freak, so it was a big mile, 47 and 1, so I can't complain. It was really good.
So you were chasing Warwi Vital on that one, then you were chasing a ride here too, right?
Yeah, I got in the car with Trevor Henry because I said, can I go? I asked him earlier this week, I said, can I go with you? Because I said they won't start the Dream of Glory without Trevor Henry, but they might start it without me, so I had to make sure I came with him.
That's great. Okay, so let's get to the Dream of Glory now. You're driving C-Can, winner of the Ballonge Image last year, 3 for 3 over this surface. You've driven him before, though, so what's your assessment of him as a trotter?
Yeah, I got to drive him in the SBOA and in a numbers 3 race at Mohawk. He's very, he gives you all you got, really. He's honest, and yeah, he loves this racetrack. You know what I mean? He's been very good here, and with the rail, obviously you have to be a little cautious with the trotter, right? But Mr. Etzel does a great job with his horses and has them ready to go when they come to a half mile. So I'm looking for good things.
And when you pick up a drive like this, you didn't drive in the elimination last week. What do you kind of do to prepare for the drive?
Well, it's very fortunate that I have got to drive the Colt before, which makes a difference. But I can't thank Mark. He, kind of worked out. I got to go to Mohawk early and then come here. But prepare-wise, I know all the horses because I've drove against them enough, and they're all Ontario-sired, so I kind of know what they're all up to. But prepared-wise, just main thing is just stay out of trouble and get money and win. So that's the main thing.
All right. So and from that rail spot, any maybe inkling on what the strategy is going to be?
You know what? And when the money's down, it always changes when the gate picks up speed. I could say I'm just going to go 4 left turns, but you just got to kind of assess it how when the gate picks up speed and see what goes on.
All right, Scott Young playing it close to the vest on C-Can in the upcoming Dream of Glory Trot. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Rob, and great to hear some words from Scott Young. Never lacking in confidence, and we saw really his first crack on the really big stage a couple of years ago when he picked up on a streak for Luke Blais going into the Wellwood Memorial, and Scott did not shy away from that big stage at all.
No, he didn't, and he came through. He got on a streak that victory. Then he got himself a chance to compete in the Mohawk Million. It was Scott's first drive in $1 million event, and you look at Scott and what he was trying to do about that time was to break in full-time on the Woodbine Mohawk Park circuit, and usually for a driver that wants to make that transition, the winter months are your chance to really make a name for yourself, to come through and then hopefully carry that through the summer. He had pretty much done that, and obviously when you latch onto a stable like Luke Blais, and they're going to give you second calling, and you come through in a spot like that, well, wow, you've really stamped yourself as somebody that can be there on a regular. And you see the different trainers that give Scott a chance to drive. Just look back earlier this week, I believe it was on Thursday evening at Woodbine Mohawk Park with James McDonald sideline, picked up a couple drives for the Stacy barn, got a win with a youngster for them. Certainly very capable. Mark Etzel will have absolutely no fears in just handing the lines over to Scott and seeing if he can get Seacan to the winner's circle here. Kind of ironic, though, that you mentioned about on a streak. Luke Blaze in this race, he had to go driver shopping. He ends up with Travis Henry. Scott's going to try and beat him here with Seacan for Mark Etzel.
And Tyler Moore picks up a drive in the big event with post 7 starter Armstead Cole. His conditioner, Chantel Mitchell, standing by with Rob Reed.
I'm here in the paddock with Chantel Mitchell, about to go postward with Armstead Cole. But first, Awesome Hill was scratched out of the open mare pace tonight at Mohawk Park. Any update on her?
Yeah, she's just a little sick. She trained really good Thursday. Friday morning, we went out to jog her and she coughed. So we scoped her and she's starting to get sick. There's a lot of sickness around, so we just said if we scratch her and treat her now, and then she'll be better for it.
Okay, and we'll see her again soon?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. All right, Armstead Cole. Going into the elimination last time, 3-race win streak. And then, was one of the highly regarded horses in the elimination, ended up finishing 3rd but made the final. What was your assessment on that performance last week?
Last week it was so hot. In this paddock it must have been at least 45 degrees. He just didn't handle the heat well. He got off the trailer soaking wet and he just kept sweating and sweating. So I think the heat just got the better of him last week. I think he was just washed out by the time he raced. Louis drove him perfectly. I told him just put his nose on the gate and let him float out, and that's what he did. And he 27-3, he wasn't asking him to do that. He just did that on his own because he's very slick gated. So I wasn't disappointed with the performance he put in because I really wasn't expecting a big performance just because of how the pre-race went for him. But this week, we rehydrated him good, and it's a lot cooler. We're at nighttime, and he's much more like his usual self. So I'm expecting a good race from him. He's had the outside post before, so I'm not too worried about it.
I was just going to ask you, as a trainer going into it, you drop post 7 at Hanover. What's your thought, when you get that post position?
It's tough, but last year he won the grassroots final from the 10 hole. He can race either way. He's actually better off a helmet than he is on the front end. He's kind of lazy on the front, so as long as there's not too much traffic in front of him, I'm sure he'll put his best performance out there for us.
All right. Well, thank you, Chantel. Good luck tonight. Chantel Mitchell, trainer of Armstead Cole in the upcoming Dream of Glory Trot.
Thank you very much again, and really appreciate Chantel taking some time out just before the horses go out, because this is a crucial time, obviously, in a paddock location. And she's a young trainer that's really made her mark in a big way in the last few years.
She definitely has, and she's had some of those standouts. Allie Corn, obviously the one that jumps out right away to me. She's done very well, and she's become one of those trainers that folks from the U.S., I think of when Chris Ryder, they have a connection, and Chris Ryder sent up Better's Wish her way, and she took great care of him, and he was able to have so much success here in Ontario, and the future is very bright, obviously, for Chantel Mitchell.
And we like folks like that as well. They're great for us because she's always willing to come on and do an interview, very articulate, gives you good information. So, yeah, really appreciate having her on. She knows it's going to be a bit of an uphill test tonight, but in a field like this, it's so wide open. I really do think that almost anything can happen. There's another look at the field page and how they're going to line up. Would be quite remarkable if Seacan could come back and pull off the very rare balanced image Dream of Glory double.
Yeah, I think that would just be really neat to see, especially for the local fans here who track these horses when they race in the summer months. And in some of these situations in races like the Balance Image and the Dream of Glory, you see a horse come in for one shot or 2 races and that's it, they're out, and then you watch them on your iPad, or you have to make the trip to the big track to see how they perform. But here's a horse, in the case of Seacan, who Mark Etzel, obviously with his connections here locally, he wanted to bring him back here, and he fits into this spot beautifully, won the Balanced Image, and then wins his elimination last weekend. You heard Robert Reed mention it a little bit earlier. He's 3 for 3 lifetime on this track, and he lands the rail. Keep in mind, elimination winners drew for posts 1 through 5, so they didn't get to pick their post, but they were guaranteed they weren't going to get saddled with the outside or in the second tier, and Seacan gets the benefit of that draw, taking post position number 1, and Scott Young will look to take the short way around and get the job done, and we'll get our chance to take a look at the horses right now.
Time to meet the field. $52,200 is the purse. And here is the number 1 Secan, the gelded son of Muscle Mass, winner last year of the Balanced Image at age 2, trying to come back and win the Dream of Glory. He's 2 for 9 this year. Mark Etzel cones and trains. Scott Young picks up a very live catch drive. He's an attractive price right now at 9-2.
He's currently 9-2 at the rail, and next door neighbor Renegade Gypsy, who tried to go the distance against Secan, ended up surrendering the lead late, is currently 3-1. We'll get a look at Renegade Gypsy as that one slowly makes his way to the track. And if Renegade Gypsy wins, Greg, we're going to hear a big cheer just to our right, as the stable.ca is well represented here tonight. They are the owners of Renegade Gypsy, a gelded son of Archangel. Mario Bayerjean, the trainer driver, 2 for 9 this year. 8 out of those 9 starts in the top 3.
And we can't stress enough the atmosphere that's here. You have to be here to appreciate it. To give the folks watching in tonight a bit of an indication, we're literally having trouble hearing our producer in our ear tonight. We're having trouble hearing each other when we're communicating. It's that loud. There's going to be fireworks following the race program tonight, so big crowd and anticipating that. And we're anticipating some fireworks here in this Dream of Glory final as well. The next one out on parade is your current favorite, and that is Drinks at Home. And boy, wouldn't driver Travis Henry love to cap off the night with the natural hat trick here, including a victory in this Dream of Glory. Drinks at Home was the fastest of the elimination winners a week ago. And by 2 full seconds, I should add, a 1:58.1 victory. That would be just 4/5 off the stakes record of 1:57.2. He's 2 for 9 this year. He's got great pedigree and sent out by the high-powered barn of Luc Blais.
Next up will be number 4, Three Finger Pour. That one, I believe, is still in the paddock, as that's one of 2 horses coming from the Shannon Henry barn. So we'll be able to get to those 2 at the end of this post parade. Why don't we move on to number 5, Linus, and this is one of the elimination winners, Mike Saftic, in the bike for trainer Brian Lee. We caught up with Brian a little bit earlier in the program, as well with Mike, and they're hoping to find some magic here with Linus, who turned in a real solid performance as he made the big move in the 3rd quarter to grab his elimination victory by a neck in 1:59.1. Second win of the year. That's just his 2nd win 11 starts this year. He was 0 for 5 as a rookie, but he always showed that he could be knocking on the door and eventually destined for bigger and better. We'll see if tonight that bigger and better does arrive. Linus going from post 5 for Brian Lee, along with the owner breeder, Len Christopher.
Checking in with our viewers online, J.D. Varnell, good friend of the show, has an update from the Meadowlands tonight. We haven't been able to watch, but we're obviously curious about Hambletonian Oaks and Hambletonian eliminations. And Venerable was a Hambletonian Oaks elimination winner in 52-4. So trotters really in the spotlight everywhere. Good time to let people know, too, that Cujo Entertainment's been tasked this year to produce the Hambletonian show for CBS Sports. So that's exciting, and we'll be heading down there next week for that. Before that, we'll stop at Grand River with COSA-TV on Monday afternoon. And again, just wonderful being here tonight on what is a picture-perfect night in Hanover, Ontario, as the trotters continue to make their way out and have their introductions for this year's edition of the Dream of Glory. There's a look at the number 6, Promise for Life. The veteran Bruce Richardson, he's won this event a couple of times in the past. He'll be on board this Son of Royalty for Life for Rene Dion, a conditioner that he has driven for on a regular basis over the years and has had a lot of success. This guy knows how to win. He's 3 for 10 coming in this season. He was a very good runner-up to Linus last time, and he rallied from 6th at 3/4 to be 2nd, Mark. That was an eye-catching final quarter. Going to have to try and probably do something similar, though, tonight from post 6.
Yeah, certainly we'll have to try and rally. That would be the guess for Promise for Life, to see if that one could pull the upset. There is a look at number 7, Armstead Cole. We heard from trainer Chantel Mitchell just a couple moments ago. Interesting comments, because on the surface, if you watched last week, you thought maybe driver Louis Waugh just got this horse fired up a little too much, and he went and posted some huge fractions, 27-3, 57-4. That's big-time speed over this track here for 3-year-old trotters. But Chantel explaining to us that it was really hot in the paddock I was here that day. It was just sizzling here at Hanover Raceway, and he was a little hot, and he got out onto the track, and he took off. He, though, does make it into the final, and on a cooler night, everything a little calmer. We'll see if Armstead Cole can come through. Tyler Moore picking up the drive. This is a gelded son of Johnny William. He was 3 for 8 last year. He's 3 for 8 this year. We'll see if he can get that 4th win. He'll have to do it, though, from the outside, post 7.
And one of 2 for Team Henry in the field will be the post 8 starter Evil Guy. And we'll get a look at that one momentarily. Co-owned by Bill Maines and Bill Cripps, longtime owners here in Ontario. Shannon Henry, again, sending out 2 starters on the training side. And husband Trevor will be driving this guy, Evil Guy from the trailing tier. Really like him tonight, Mark. He's going to be my pick in here, despite the trailing post. Last week, post 7, had to leave hard for position, got away in mid-pack, and then rallied very enthusiastically in the final quarter to fall just a length shy of Drinks at Home in that fastest elimination. Really like this son of Il Sonio Dream for Team Henry. And the other part of the entry, 3 Finger Pour, who I believe is going to be the last one out, will have the red-hot Jason Ryan driving, and looks, I think, equally as competitive on paper.
I think so. Evil Guy earlier this year won an elimination at the SBOA Stakes. He knocked off Duly Resolved, and I think if you've been tracking racing the last couple of years, we know how talented Duly Resolved is in this division. Evil Guy's got some big-time ability when he can get it all together, and he's on his A game. He's 2 for 10 this year, and I think he can be one that's going to be right in the hunt when we get towards Super Final season. So here he is in a spot where, and this isn't a knock on the other horses in this group, there's a lot of horses that fit into that grassroots category. Evil Guy, he's a legit gold contender, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of trip Trevor Henry's able to work out from that 2nd tier.
An excellent, excellent horse race coming up here for you. No real huge long shots on the board. They all look very good on paper coming in. They're all still young and learning and getting that valuable experience, and post position draw really intriguing here. So I think it's one of the more interesting editions of the Dream of Glory we have seen. And again, the backdrop here tonight, massive crowd, perfect weather. The town of Hanover is buzzing for this one. It is the signature event. So for our viewers watching in tonight, your last chance to let us know who you like. We want to hear from you. I'm going to pick number 8, Evil Guy. Mark, we're going to put you on the spot now. Who's your pick and why?
I went with the number 1, Seacan, and at 4 to 1, I love that price. But one of the big things that stood out to me last week from the 3 eliminations was the way that Seacan was able to win. It might have been the slowest of the 3 eliminations in 2 minutes and 3/5, but Seacan didn't get roughed up one bit. He was able to sit in the 2-hole. Bob McClure gets the room to slip out of the deuce as they go into the final turn, and he trots on to the victory, does what he has to do, and I love the fact that he was able to win well in hand, didn't have to exert too much to get the job done, and I think that keeps him pretty fresh for tonight's contest. You just look at some of the competition he's had to face in the recent starts leading up to the Dream of Glory elimination. He was taking on the Lights of Bautista. There's one that's raced in the preferred trot here, or at Woodbine Mohawk Park, so he's faced some tough enough competition, and another horse that's raced at the gold level, and the way he got to win his elimination, I think that gives him a great shot to be fresh for a huge effort here tonight. We'll see if Scott Young can get it done for Mark Etzel, and we get that balanced image Dream of Glory double. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, Evil Guy for me. Now, consensus so far, Andy Carnegie, he's with me on Evil Guy. Mike Giamatelli likes Promise for Life with Bruce Richardson, and yeah, I agree. Definitely has a big chance. You have to like 10 to 1 if you're on him. J.D. Varnell picks Drinks at Home. I don't think he can go wrong there with this guy. Of course, he's the younger brother to Macho Martini, a horse that was one of the very best in Canada as a 2- and 3-year-old. And this guy has shown similar potential. He just hasn't done it as consistently. maybe last week's elimination effort a sign that this guy is ready to step it up to another level. So again, folks, watching online, you've got a couple of minutes left to let us know. Let's see if we can get some consensus here. So far, the picks are well spread out, matching what we're seeing on the tote board.
Exactly that. So, hey, we're all in agreement, I guess you could say, on one thing, and that it's a pretty wide open affair. And I'm really excited to see how this race does shake out. This Dream of Glory final. This is the signature event each and every season at Hanover Raceway, back under the lights here in 2022. Great crowd on hand, like you mentioned, Greg. Also have some great representation from some politicians and government. Local MP Alex Ruff, along with the mayor of Hanover, Sue Patterson, are going to be in the winner's circle to present the trophy. So I think that speaks volumes to what a night like this means to this area and the surrounding region.
And now getting our final look at some of these horses just before they line up, looking at the body language, trying to get some final clues that can maybe point in the right direction. Promise for Life, who we see on screen, love that body language, nice and relaxed. You know, these horses all look, their coats look great. Don't see anyone out there that looks hot under the collar, washed out, any of that type of thing. They all make really a good pre-race appearance from all that I have seen so far. And there you go, just nice and relaxed. That's what you want to try and do these days, keep them nice and calm before the action starts up. Fireworks coming up soon here, Mark, both literally and figuratively, as we get set to go with the Dream of Glory now, just about 30 seconds away.
Should be lots of action here, and that's what I'm expecting. You got 3 eliminations last week, which means you have 3 horses that were all winners last week. They come into the final riding momentum, confidence, and hey, if you want an elimination, you come right back the next week, you're putting them in play. So there's 3 horses you can bank on that are all going to be firing, and I'm excited to see how this race does shake out. It's been a wonderful night here at Hanover Raceway, and the buzz in the crowd is going to fall to a bit of a hush until they swing into the lane, and I'm sure you will hear the roar, as this will be a fun edition of the Dream of Glory.
Couple of late picks coming in here on number 2, Renegade Gypsy. Mark Border and Dean Volmerhausen picking that one from post 2. It's going to be a good one, folks. Strap in and get ready. The $52,200 Dream of Glory. And again, here's Rick Ryer with the call.
For Brian Lee and Mike Saftic, the 3rd division winner. 6, Promise for Life, Rene Dion, driver Bruce Richardson. 7, Armstead Cole, the outside, trainers Chantel Mitchell and Tyler Moore. 2nd tier, number 8 is Evil Guy for Shannon and Trevor Henry. $52,200. Are you ready for the Dream of Glory? Post time, race 10. They're into the stretch, and here they come. They're off. Armstead Cole, an early break, trotting out. Renegade Gypsy, Mario wants the lead. 3 Finger Pour is going to land right in the pocket, 2nd. Moving away to be 3rd around that first turn is Drinks at Home. Seacan trotted away 4th. Evil Guy early from 5th. Linus is 6th. Then Promise for Life. Armstead Cole is back down trotting single file to that opening quarter. Mario Bayerjean, Renegade Gypsy, his foot is on the pedal and he trots the opening quarter. 29-1. Renegade Gypsy into the far turn. 3 Finger Pour tracking right there in the pocket. 2nd, Evil Guy has made a break. Trotting 3rd, that's Drinks at Home. Seacan right there and is going to follow the cover to the outside 4th as they trot off the turn. Renegade Gypsy, Mario Bayerjean is up front. Drinks at Home first up on the outside 2nd. 3 Finger Pour is 3rd. Seacan 2nd over 4th. Lena's 5th by the half a well-rated minute and 1/5. Trotting 6th, Promise for Life. Then Armstead Cole, Evil Guy, Renegade Gypsy, Mario Bayerjean turns him into the Playtime Casino backstretch. Drinks at Home on the outside 2nd. Seacan up into the hunt. Right there is 3 Finger Pour. Lena's from 5th. They trot by 3/4. Renegade Gypsy 129-2. Drinks at Home within a half a length. 3 Finger Pour is right there 3rd. Have a watch for Seacan Seacan. Here comes the answer. Scott Young, 3 wide at the top of the stretch. Renegade Gypsy. Seacan drinks it home. Seacan. Scott Young gets her done. Seacan, the Dream of Glory winner, drinks it home. Second, looked like Promise for Life. Third, 1:59 and 3.
Scott Young with the textbook second over trip, and Seacan keeps his perfect streak here at Hanover Raceway intact. He's now 4 for 4 in his young career and has won both signature events here. The balanced image last year at age 2, and tonight follows up with a narrow and hard-fought victory in the Dream of Glory.
Gets the job done. Once again, does Seacan, and Scott Young worked out that perfect trip like you mentioned. It's a second over ride, left from the rail. Didn't worry that he might have to fire out of there from that rail starting spot. Instead, he'll land essentially mid-pack and gets out racing to the half, latches onto that cover of Drinks at Home, who made that quick move to charge first up, and then sits on that one's back till midway around the final turn before ultimately he's got to go 3 wide at that point. He waited as long as he could, comes 3 wide, and it's going to be long enough because he's able to come on by here late in the lane and is able to upend Drinks at Home and takes the Dream of Glory final in 1:59 and 3. I love the way this horse raced last week. I thought it really set him up well to have another big effort here tonight. It's not about how fast you win, it's just about the fact that you win. Once again, another great example of that. A well-measured victory by Scott Young with Seacan for trainer Mark Etzel. I would expect, Greg, we're going to see a pretty big winner's circle crowd out there to celebrate this one.
This horse is so handy, so versatile, and apparently loves the footing here at Hanover Raceway. And he has done nothing but win at the venue, and he's put a lot of money on his card in the process. And again, we talked about Scott Young, and these when he gets these opportunities in the big moments, he doesn't shy away from them, and very calm, cool, and collected. Even with post 1, you know, you could see a guy getting a little bit anxious with that rail position and really wanting to take advantage, but he didn't. Very calm and patient, and it pays off in spades.
It's all about embracing the moment, and Scott Young does exactly that, I think. And you can say, hey, he's got lots of confidence, but when you get into that moment, is the confidence going to shine through? And it does, and that's the case here for Scott Young as he comes through with Seacan, and Mark Etzel has gone to Scott Young in the past to sit behind this young trotter and some of his other horses from his stable, so he has full confidence in him, and the plan works to perfection. Tough one for Bob McClure. I know he loves racing here at Hanover Raceway. He will tell anybody that wants to listen this is his favorite track to race at. Well, he's got a big race tonight with Warwi Xenia in the Hambletonian Oaks, so it's fair that he had to miss this, but I know he would have loved to have been here. He would have had to choose, though, between Seacan and Drinks at Home. They finished 1-2. Something tells me he probably would have had to stick with Drinks at Home and that Luke Blay determination account. Either way, he didn't have to make the tough choice. He told them, sorry, I can't be there. And Scott Young and Travis Henry, they'll settle for that 1-2 finish.
And there again, Scott Young, with Bob McClure unable to fulfill an obligation, is Johnny on the spot and comes up big. So, you know, Scott gets his opportunities in his own right, but he's probably happy to be that second call to Bob McClure and some of these horses too when those opportunities come along. And if he keeps capitalizing like this, it won't be long before he's first call on these horses. And yeah, he's racking up these stakes wins year in and year out. And there is the very happy winner's circle celebration. Mark Etzel. We've talked about him. Veteran trainers always seem to come up with good horses, but he's got a barn full of them now. Really kind of a different level this year, and this guy's been a really nice contributor to the operation. Of course, he gets overshadowed somewhat by his older stablemate, the great Adair Castle.
Exactly, and I think at the end of the year when you go back and you look at the Etzel barn and his listed trainees, you're going to look at a horse like Seacan and go, geez, that was a pretty nice year this horse put together. Made $52,000 last year, now gets the winner's share of this $52,000 purse. That's going to put the earnings this season up over 50 as well, so now 6 figures in career earnings for Seacan, and a good chunk of that, as you mentioned, Greg, collected right here at Hanover Raceway.
Time now to go to the winner's circle. Rob Reed has the winning trainer.
$2 exactor, 22.10. A $1 trifecta, 208.25. 20-cent super, $438.21. The late double, $14.40, and 4 out of 4 on the pick 4, returning $256.95. We're going to go live trackside now. Hanover Raceway, pleased to have with us Mr. Robert Reed.
All right, we're here in the winner's circle with winning trainer Mark Etzel with the hardware. Good looking trophy there, Mark. And the second time a horse has won both the Balanced Image and the Dream of Glory. You've got to be really impressed with what your colt did today. 4 for 4 over the surface now.
Really happy the way he performed today. I mean, he got a perfect trip, kind of what we were looking for, second over, and he can pop pretty good, so we're very happy.
And Scott Young picking up the drive. Obviously, Bob McClure drove in the elimination. He's the Meadowlands tonight. But putting Scott aboard, he'd been aboard him before, so you're pretty confident with that?
I was okay with that. Scott's drove him before, and he's had luck with him. I had no problem. Scott's has been our backup driver in a lot of horses. Bobby's a little disappointed he couldn't be here tonight. He really wanted to be here for this, but he had bigger fish to fry.
Of course, Bob McClure loves driving here at Hanover Raceway. And, a little bit about the crowd tonight. I mean, it's pretty incredible looking over and seeing this crowd. They've been fantastic all night. They saw a fireworks show in the race there. They're going to see one afterwards as well. But, what's it like to win at a track that means so much to you?
This is my home track. I started my drives here, and it's nice to see a lot of people here again. It used to be in the 80s and stuff. The place was always packed, but it's nice to see a big crowd.
Right, and just talk about the success you've had with trotters lately. And of course, you got a Dare Castle, C-Can. You've got one coming up. Warwi Yang looks pretty good as well. So just talk about that success you've had, and you've got a real nice arsenal of talented trotters right now.
We switched over to trotters a few years ago because it's a little less competitive than the Pacers. We've had a lot of luck with them. I do my homework when I go to the sales and try to find bargains. We don't have a lot of money to spend, but when we do, we give her a go.
All right, well, hopefully the continued success, Mark. Congratulations again. Let's give it up, everyone, for Mark Etzel, winning trainer of C-Can in the Dream of Glory Trot 2022.
Great ovation from the crowd, and nice to see Mark Etzel again. Really humble guy, very talented horseman, and things are coming together in a tremendous way for him over the past couple of seasons. And this year, he's on pace for some kind of a special year. So congratulations, Scott Young, the winning driver as well with C-Can. That's going to do it for tonight. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Great job, Mark. Great job by Rob Reed Jr. Covering things off in the paddock location and with our winner's circle coverage as well. We're going to be right back at it this Monday. We are very excited to be heading down the highway to Grand River Raceway in Elora, Ontario for this year's edition of the Battle of Waterloo as part of the Industry Day program. And we are going to also be giving away that Hanover Raceway prize package, so tune in to our Facebook and Instagram channels where we will announce the winner of tonight's contest. Everybody who left a comment this evening eligible, we'll draw that name and post it on our Facebook channel. There's a look at some of the upcoming shows. As mentioned, Grand River Raceway this Monday afternoon. COSA-TV will make a special appearance at the Meadowlands this year. We'll be part of Hamiltonian coverage for CBS Sports. That's certainly going to be an exciting day as well. And when we return to Ontario, we will be at Georgian Downs a little bit later in the month of August for the Earl Road Trot. And then later in the year, a host of major events from both Woodbine Mohawk Park and Western Fair. Hope to see you next time. Thanks again for joining us, and so long from Hanover Raceway.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out HPIBet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.